Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Today, we are going to talk about sending push notifications. Using your project, wherever it's your app, so it should be your app actually, because there is no currently way to send push notifications or notifications to the web. But using your app, you can actually send shadow push notifications by the user or by yourself again, of course. It depends to you. If you have, for example, an admin dashboard, you can set up those, or you can allow your users to actually shadow push notifications for themselves or for other person as well. That goes as well. And then this is the shadow push notifications, and you have the notification title, you have the notification description, and you have the time. So the time can be every hour, or I included some of the times, not all of them, but I included some of the times. And then you have also the minute, so it could be every minute, every single minute. And we have some minutes, I include some minutes. And then we have the day of the month, which are 31 in total, but that includes like some of them, not all of them. And also every month, or you can choose every month actually, or include some of the months here. And those could be actually January, February, and so on and so forth. I think it would be actually better if it's like that now that I think about it. And then we have the days of the weeks. Let me actually show you using the online notepad. You have this video will be including 3 parts. So the first part will be to actually send a push notification using a webhook in order to test if the notifications are actually working for you or for your users or for whoever you want to test to. Also, because this is a very important step to actually go to the next step, which is to send the actual shadow push notifications. And then the second step, the second part of the video will be to convert the user time to a server time. And the reason for that is that we don't know where are the users based on located, because I myself I'm in Europe, but maybe you are in India that you're watching, or the States, or wherever you are in the world. So that's why we need to actually have a way to convert the time that the user selected to the server time. And we are going to actually do that using a cloud function. And then the last part will be to send push notification. In my case, it could be on every minute to actually test if the push notification is working. But of course, you can set up like dynamically, like every, for example, Monday at 10 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the evening. It doesn't really matter. It's up to you. So let me first show you how this works, and then I will show you how you can set it up. So I'll disappear in the shadows now. Okay, so let me first show you 2 things. The first thing that I'm going to show you is the first part of the video, which is to test the push notifications. I will later show you how you can do that, but the whole idea is that when you visit a page in your browser, or a webhook in this case, it's called a webhook, it will actually send a push notification to that specific user with the user ID, because we're using the user ID, and we're going to use the title and description. And then if I visit this page right now, so let me just switch to the page and let me refresh the page, and you probably will not see it because I already visited this page, but you should get a push notification, and you should get this message, which is notification sent successfully. I will later, just in a bit, switch to my phone so you can actually see the push notification, but the push notification should say demo, as this is my title, and my description is the description. And then um, the second part is actually adding. Um, so the second part is actually converting the user time to the server time, because the server time will actually be the one which we are going to use to send the scheduled push notifications, and at the user time. The server time will be based on the user time, of course, but let me show you what I mean. So we had set up a cloud function, which is actually every time there is a new document created, it will actually convert this document and it will create the server time and the local time. So let me switch to my app real quickly. And this is my app. And this is like a demo notification. So let me just switch to my existing notifications. Let me delete this notification right now. And let me create a new notification. So this is my new notification. It says my own title, my own push notification. And let's say the time is, let's say it's 5. So it's 10 and the minute is 5. And then let's say every day of the month and or let's say 45, for example, let's say every day of the month and every month and every day of the week. So if I save this and switch real quickly to my database, you can actually see that this is now created. And if you wait just a second, as you can just saw probably, it's created automatically the server crown, the server time, and the time difference. So this is the time difference between the user local time and the server time. In my particular case, the time difference are 2 hours, which is okay. That means actually the server is nearby me. And you can probably see on the bottom left corner, you can probably see that my server is Europe Central 2. And that's why the time difference, it's not that big. And usually the time difference should not be that big if you are the owner of the project. But of course, if your user is somewhere else in the world, the time difference will be bigger than that. Okay, so that's great. That's totally working. And now, when the time hits 10:45, I should actually receive a push notification saying that I've successfully received this push notification. So let me switch to my phone right now. Okay, so I'm inside my phone now, and it should see my phone. And this is the notification that I just received, which is demo and my description. And this is the notification that I received from when I visit the page. And now I just remove this notification because it's 44, if you can see on the top of my screen, and the minutes is 44. And when the minute hits 45, should receive the notification, the scheduled notification from the step 3. So the first one was from step 1, and this one is from step 3. And you'll see it now. Okay, great. So let me just show you how this works and how you can set it up. So first, let's begin with the first part of the video, which is to test the push notifications and to send to yourself to send yourself a push notification, a simple push notification using the user ID, and you enter your title and you enter your description as well, and it should be able to receive the push notification. If you are not receiving the push notifications, there are some things that you have to check. First, make sure that when you go to users and you click on one of the users or your user, you have this FCM token. So make sure that you have this MCM token. If you don't have this collection and the token itself, you will probably not receive the push notification. So make sure you have this setup. It is actually automatically done when you register your user using the phone device, not using the test mode or run mode. In Flow, you have to register a user using your phone. So the best way is to actually download the app. When you set up the app, the best way is to download the app from here, download APK, for example, if you're Android, or download the code and run it in your iOS device. Like I said, this is very important. And then the first step that you have to do is actually, now we are going to deploy a function, and the function will be webhook, so to say webhook. And the one that we are going to do is send notification. So this is the one. It's called send notification, and it's this HTTP says cloud. It should be cloud HTTPS, and it says request, and then this is the notification that we are going to use and send. And this is the link that is generated for me. And then how you can do that, I will switch to the terminal. First, you have to open the terminal. So I will switch to the terminal, and then I will show you how you can do that. Yeah, before I switch to the terminal, actually, I forgot to tell you that it's very important to watch the Kickstart Your Firebase Cloud Function journey with Flow step-by-step tutorial. And the reason for that is that I explain how you install Firebase, how to install the Firebase functions, how you initiate your project inside your terminal. And then, like I said, make sure you watch this and make sure you have set it up everything correctly. And when you're done, you should have a folder called Firebase. And inside this folder, Firebase, you should have a folder called Functions. So when you're done with that, now we can switch to the console or the terminal or whatever platform you're using. Okay, now we're here inside the terminal. I'm using Linux, but if you're using Macs, it will be the same. If you're using Windows, it should be the same as well. So the same commands, I mean. So the first thing that you have to do is actually we make sure, I'm always saying that, make sure you have npm and just write npm -- version to make sure that you have the version installed. And then we have to install some libraries. So npm install, and then first one that we need to install is Firebase functions. Just run that, and in my case I have already installed it, so it will be really quickly. Ignore this error, which is this is not error, actually it's a warning, so ignore that warning. Great. And then we have to, the other one, the second one that we have to install, it's Firebase admin, and just run that again and take some time. I already installed it, so it's a little bit faster for me. The next one is npm install, and then it's called moment, so it's moment. Then click enter again, and you should install it as well. And let me clear actually my screen, because I saw that for some reason it's cutting the screen when I'm recording. So let me record this one, which is cron parser, is the next one we need to install. Just click install, run it, wait a little bit. I will right clear to clear my view. And the last one that we're going to install is only cron. So we have to install npm install cron, and we have to install cron dash parser. Both of them. We have to install both of them. Okay, great. And when we're done with everything, the next thing we have to do is create a file. So we have to do, in my case, I'm going to do nano and then index.js, but you can use any text editor out there. And if I click enter, let me just save that. So if I click enter, you can actually see my file, and you can see the whole code that I have already set it up. So this is the first part, the test the test push notifications, and I have my JSON setup. So the JSON setup for my project, I call it UFC out, but it's actually, in your case, it should be only out. I would just rename that to only out. It is very easy to get this JSON file. I explained this in my other videos. It's very easy. You have to go to your Firebase console and then click on project settings and then go to service accounts, and then you will see a button, a blue button at the bottom that says generate new private key. Just click on that, and there will be you will download a new JSON file, and you have to make sure that this JSON file is in the same folder functions inside where this file index.js is, or else this code will not work, because this is the connection between your code and your Firebase project. So make that sure. And this is the actual code, which is this code. The only purpose of this code is to actually take the UID, take the title, and then take the description of your URL, of your address, and then use them to find this user and find the token, and then using this token, it will actually send a push notification to the person. And there I put some address that you will get at the end of the day when you push the notification, when you push the cloud function to your Firebase. So the first one is the public address, and the second one is I made a video about that, how you can set up your own Firebase emulator in your local computer. So if you set up your emulator, this is how you can test it inside your emulator as well. So both works. And this is part 2. We will go after that. So make sure you include the whole code. It's okay to have the whole code, actually, to have the part 1, the part 2, and the part 3, to have it in one file. And then to save the file, in my case, I will click Control X and then yes for yes, I want to save it. And then the file should be saved. But if you're using any other text editor out there, just save the file with the code, and the code will be available in the description, like I always saying that. So when you're done, when you save the file, you have to now deploy the cloud functions. So to deploy the cloud functions, you can write Firebase and then deploy -- only and then functions. And if you deploy them, when you deploy them, you actually it takes a little bit time, and it will actually ask you, do you want to delete the cloud functions that are not inside your computer? Make sure to click enter and not save, and not yes, sorry. So don't click yes, or if you click yes, you delete your cloud functions, and this is not what you want, because your cloud functions are already there. So you get this screen, for example, and just make sure you click no and yes. And in my case, I will not do anything because I have already deployed my cloud functions. But when you deployed your cloud functions using this method, you actually deploy the 3 cloud functions, and that's great. So now let's go back to our website, and let me show you what you get when you deploy successfully your cloud function. So when you successfully deployed your cloud function, the cloud function name is called send notification. So you can see it over here. It says send. It's not that one check and send. It's only this one. It's send notification. So, and this is the URL. Actually, you have to have your own address, and I don't know why you cannot copy this. If you click on it, it will actually open this diagram, but you cannot copy it for some reason. It would be great if you can copy it. What I'm doing, it's a little bit hacky way. Just open the terminal, the DevTools, and then I'm copying this address like that. And then when you copy the address, the whole idea is that when you have your own address, you have to also have the title, the UID, and the description of the push notification that you want to send. So let me show you what that looks like. So first of all, you have the region of your Firebase project. Then you have the project ID, and then you have this cloudfunctions.net, and you have, in our case, because of the cloud function name, it's send notification, so it should be the same send notification. Then you have the UID. So this is the UID. You replace this with the user ID or your own user ID UID from your Firebase. And then you have your title. You can put your own title here, and the description. You can put the description and description that you want to. So like I said, this is only for testing purposes to see if you actually receive your push notification. And if you successfully do, then you can visit this website, open this website, and you should get notifications sent successfully. And then you, of course, should receive the notification when you get this message. Great. And then let's move on to the second part. If you made this the first part, let's move to the second part. So the second part, we have to actually deploy the cloud function, which is, in our case, is called the cloud function. It's called calculate server time, but we already did that in the first step because we actually deployed the three cloud functions that we're using in the 3 steps. We did it in the first step with one bullet, 3 cloud functions. And the whole idea is that you can actually have unlimited cloud functions in your index.js file. And if you actually successfully deployed your 3 cloud functions, you should have something like that. So let me show you what I mean. The first one is called send notification, and it looks like that. It's HTTPS cloud, and this is the request URL, like we said. So this is the first one. The second one that you need to have when you successfully deployed your cloud functions is calculate server time, and you have this document.write. And in my case, the collection is called notifications, but in your case, it could be something else. If it's something else, make sure to replace the collection name. In my case, it's called notifications. And let me show you my setup actually in Flow. So if I go to notifications, this is what I have. I have the title, I have the description, I have the local crown, local user time, and user ref. So make sure that you wrote the same way that I did over here. So you have the consistency, or if you changed something here, you have to change that in the code. So, but I would strongly recommend you to not change the names and just make them the same with the uppercase and lower cases. And then the last cloud function for the third part of this video, it's called check and send push notifications, which is this one. And you should get this scheduled cloud pub sub, and you get with the 5 stars. So this is the third one that we going to deploy. I'm talking about that because in the first step, we actually deployed, you should deploy the 3 functions that we have. Okay, great. And then we have to go to, now we can go to Flow, and inside my Flow, I have inside my project, I have this page set up, which is a simple, very simple form. But of course, but because we're using Crown, and if you don't know what is Crown, we are going to use Crown because I was thinking, what is the best way to send push notifications and using the time. And I ended up thinking that the Crown one is the best one, because you have a lot of options here. You can send by minute, by hour, by date of the month, by date of the week. So you have a lot of options. Like, let's say, for example, I want to send a push notification at 8:30. Let's say, for example, every let's say week days. So weekdays will be represented like that. And this will be at 8:30 on every day of the week, from Monday through Friday, for example. And I'm using this website, which is CrownTap is actually the name of the website. This is the website, crowntap.io or crowntap.guru. It says on my browser, but I think if I open this so it's crowntap.guru. It's not .io, it's .guru, so you know. And then you can actually test your cron jobs over here and when they will be next run and how you can set it up, how you can set them up. And then if I go back to my form, like I said, this is what we're going to use. We're going to use Crown jobs. So the first thing is the title, the description that the user can set, the hour, the minute, the day of the month, the actual month, and the day of the week. And then when we save this, we are going to create a new document, and the document will be inside notifications. And we're going to get the title from the text field, the description, again from the text field, which is the description, and then the local crown. So the local crown, it's a little bit complicated. So let me just go through that. So the first thing is that we are going to take the minutes. So let me just show you first, before I show you that, let me just show you how I set up my, so those are drop downs. And I have an option. So I have the options value and I have the label. So this is very important because the labels will be different than the values. And for example, for every hour, you have to put an asterisk. And for the time, you can put the times as like every hour, like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and so on and so forth. And for the labels, you can put it with AM and PMs, for example, or you can do it like 13. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. What matters are the options over here. Are the options values is what I want to say. But you can do, like I said, the labels doesn't really matter. You can put them wherever you want to. And then the minutes, again, the first option is every minute, to run this every minute. And this would be an asterisk. You probably don't want your push notifications to run every minute. That doesn't sound right. But for this particular case, I choose that every minute. And of course, you can actually have this how you prefer. It doesn't has to be a drop down. It can be anything else. Like it could be like a text field that the person can enter, like the hour and the minute, for example, and then you can have the day of the month. So the day of the month, it's from 1. Ideally, it's from 1 to 31, but in this case, in my case, I entered only the 6 first. I was lazy a little bit, and then every day of the month, again, it will be an asterisk. So if you want the user to receive the shadow push notification for every day of the month, it doesn't really matter which day it is. It matters, for example, only the time. Then you get every day of the month, and this will represent an asterisk. And then the month, the actual month, I actually entered every day, every month, sorry, I entered 1, 2, but you can actually enter it by month date, right? So the labels can be January, for example, and then we have February, for example, and so on and so forth, right? You can write them over here, the actual name of the months and not 1, 2, 3, 4. But the actual values are 1, 2, 3, 4. So every day it's again asterisk. And then the January, it's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And if you're wondering how I know that, you can actually experiment with that, right? You can go over here and you can see the values that you can enter here, and you can see that the allowed values are from 1 to 12, which are the months. So if I click enter, for example, if I click 1, for example, it would be at 8:30 on every day of the week from Monday through Friday in January only. So it could be very specific using cron jobs. So that's why I did it with cron jobs, because it will be very specific, and it could be very specific. And it's very easy. Actually, at the end of the day, you have only 5 parameters. It's the minutes, the hour, the day of the month, the actual month, and the week day. And then great. And then let's go back to the actual form, which is this one. And then let's go to the every day of the week. So when a user chooses every day of the week, again, this is an asterisk. And then we have the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And just remember, this is the US standard. So the Sunday is actually the beginning of the week, which is 0, and the Monday is actually 1. So again, how I know that, just enter here. You can see from 0 to 6, and you can see that Sunday and Saturday are the beginning from Sunday. Sorry. So if you enter 0, it's Sunday, but if you enter 6, it is Saturday. And if you enter 7, it's not allowed, right? You can say non-standard may not work in every cron. So don't do it like that. Do it the standard way. If you want Sunday, just enter 0. If you want Monday, enter 1. Okay, great. Then we can go back to the form and to when we are actually saving the cron. So the cron, it's a little bit complicated, but let me show you how that looks like. So the first one, because it's the minute, the first one, and not the hour. So just keep in mind, I'm going back here again to just show you. First, you get the minute, then you get the hour. But of course, you can mix up those in your form. I mixed up those, and first I put the hour and then the minute, because I think this is more user-friendly experience to have first the hour and then the minute. But like I said, make sure that here you have the drop down. It's the second drop down, which is the minute. And then you have the second drop down, and this will take the values, not the labels. It will take the values. And then the second one that you have is actually just a space. We need this space because we cannot have these values like that, right? We cannot have the values combined. We don't want that, and we don't have to have that because this will end up in error. So we have to have a space. And then we put a space, like a simple space here. This is a single space. And then we have the hour. And then put a space again over here. And then we have the day of the month. We put a space here. And then we have the month. And we put a space here. And then we have the day of the week. And that's it. It should look like that. Yours should look like that. And then just confirm it. I will not confirm because I already did that. And then we have the local user time. And the local user time, is actually the current time, and this is actually coming from global property. So if you click global property, click on current time, and no further changes. We need this time like that because we need to see what is the current time that the user created this notification, and then compare it with the server time, the current server time, and then use this to get what is the time difference, and then convert this crown drop into into the server crown drop. So for example, in my case, if I say 10, uh, I want to run a scheduled notification at 10 a.m. every day. If the server time is 12 a.m. or 11 a.m., sorry, it will be 1 hour difference, and then it will actually change the server crown chop. And because it will actually look at the server time and not the local time, it will actually send the push notification based on the server time and not on the local time of the user. Okay, and then the last thing that we need to do is user reference. We need to include the user reference, and this is coming from a authenticated user, and this is the user record reference. So it's very easy, and just put the user reference. And when you create a document, like I show you at the beginning of the video, when you create a document, this will be the document that is being created, and the local crown, the local user time are created from your form. So let me just switch to Firebase, sorry. So the local crown, the local user time I created from your form, but the server crown, the server time, and the time difference are actually created automatically using your crown function, cloud function, sorry, that you created, which is this one. And if you have that, you can actually test this. Like I said, I already showed you how this works, but it should work for you as well. So you should be able to save this, and you should get those 3 fields automatically created for you. So the server crown will be automatically generated, the server time will be automatically generated, and the time difference will be automatically generated. Great, that's great. So let's move on to the last part of this tutorial. Hello again. So we are to the last part of this tutorial, which is to check for the cloud. It says every minute, but yeah, it's actually checking every minute for crown server, and if it's true, send a notification. So in the first step, if you haven't watched the first step, in the first step we deployed the cloud function, sorry, and then if you go to your Firebase and you go to functions, you should have 3 new functions, and the one that we are going to use in the step 3 is actually this one, which is check and send notifications. So this is the one, you should have it like that, this is with that name. And then this is the symbol or the icon, which is a shadowed cloud pops up, and then you have the 5 stars over here. So the whole idea is that if you have a document over here and you have set it up correctly, it will actually check if the server crown is equal to the time. What is the time right now? And if those are matched, if this time match to the current time of the server, the notification will be actually sent to the user. So this is how it works. And like I said, we have already deployed the code. The code will be available in the description. And if you don't change anything, if you have it set it like that, if you have the notifications collection, and then you have all those fields, set it up like that, everything should actually work without you touching anything. So you just have to deploy this cloud function. You just have to have this cloud function deployed, and then it should work out of the box. Great. And before you go, actually, I wanted to show you this website. You probably know already about it, but I made it for thank you page for my 2,000 subscribers. And the whole idea is that you can actually get the code from here. And if there is something that you need to change to your code, you can actually do it like that, right? You can do it from the form here. You can change something, and then let's say my domain is my name, and then you can actually see it that this is changed over here, and then you can copy this and paste it in your Flow project. And then you can copy the widget as well, and then you can paste it. There is actually a video how you can use this site. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope it was helpful for you. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye. Take care.